Hey, wait a minute. Do you like roguelikes? What about horror games or slot machines? If you said yes to any of those, then boy do I have the game for you. Now, before we get started, I want to say huge thank you to Strong Monkey Games for reaching out to me about the Steam playtest and letting me play it a little bit early. Deadspin is all of this and more. Mainly, it's a roguelike deck-building horror game, but it's got more than just that. It's got your slot machines, your strategies, and your horrific visuals with creepy bosses who, for some reason, get corpse launched into the void when you win. I'll get back to those guys later. This is the slot machine. Notice the two screens here. This is your side and this is theirs. Over here is the lever used to spin the wheel. Used to spin the wheel. But I don't know who made the slot machine because for some reason they made doubles count as combos. Stupid rabbit doctor. Over here on your board, you have a bunch of different symbols in a 5x3 grid. Don't know what they do? Well, neither did I. But you have two main ways of memorizing them. Option number one is that you can read every single item description, meticulously set up combos, arrange your symbols, and find the perfect synergy with the perfect mix of modifiers and effects. Or you can bang your head against the metaphorical wall and buy every single critter and stolen car battery you can until there's so much waste on your board that your opponent just dies from lead poisoning. Now, those two symbols I just mentioned are part of the electrical category. There are several of these categories, including things like explosives, blades, cards, and just straight cash money. All of these have their own unique value modifier represented in blue, and that shows up on the screen over here. Along with the value, we have the molt shown in red. It works exactly as you'd imagine. You take your value and multiply it by your molt modifier. Sound familiar? The accumulation of these two modifiers results in your score. To beat your opponent, you must beat them in said score over the course of 2 rounds shown as hearts. Losing all your hearts means you lose, and for your opponent specifically, this means flying off to the dark abyss due to the boss shock therapy. For you, however, losing involves getting a one-way ticket to God at the mercy of this haunted slot machine. Now, I put an asterisk on 2 rounds because there are ways to extend this through the use of items. After defeating one of these losers, you get 2 boxes, one with coins and one with items. From the first box, you get to choose 1 coin. Essentially, these coins allow you to earn money by fulfilling specific conditions. Simple. Now, the second box is an item box with a wider array of choices. You get to choose 2 items, and these range from simple things like a spinner that gives you an extra spin, or a heart that gives you 1 heart back. While the more complex things like the brush removes debuff marks from your slots, but not the last one. And you have to know what counts as a debuff instead of a block or a permanent addition. God, I hate this trash, man. In my experience, these items can be crucial to winning or fulfilling specific conditions to make you as rich as possible. I can't count how many times I barely scraped by because of one of these items. Now, there are more items than the ones I just specifically listed, like ones that can directly affect the value and molt of symbols, but in my experience, they're generally not even as good as some of the others. Earlier, I mentioned the many different symbols, but I forgot to mention how you can get them. In addition to the boxes of items you get from defeating an enemy, you also get access to the shop. And here you can use the money from your coins and finishing rounds to buy more symbols along with other things like chips. Now, there are other things you can buy, like these things over here. Now, the first thing we have over here is the clover. This is basically a shop upgrade that gives you a higher chance at rare symbols and chips ranging from basic to legendary. The red X's allow you to essentially banish specific symbols from your deck, while the green one gives your symbols a higher chance at appearing per spin. You can see all of these symbols in the shop by hitting E, where you can use those banishes and stuff. Now that you're much more prepared, you're ready to go fight the next poor soul. Now, by technicality, Deadspin is a boss rush, so every enemy you fight has its own special rule or challenge involved. Minus the tutorial, this demo has 4 enemies. Rabbit Man with the ability Prohibition. This ability randomly changes 3 of the symbols on your board to another one in your deck completely randomly. So not really enough to be a problem, just kind of a nuisance. Next, we got the Pig. Oink. His ability is called Weakening. This marks 4 random spots on your board, and any symbols in those spots has a 50% reduced value and or molt modifier. Now, compared to Rabbit Man's ability, this is actually kind of a problem. Now, even though it's only a 50% reduction in value for your symbols, there's almost a 100% chance that's going to hit every single combo on your board for no reason at all. Now, out of the 4 enemies in this demo, this Pig is the second biggest reason I kept losing my runs. And I'll explain why he's not number 1 later. Now we've got Kebab Man. His ability Banishment does exactly what you think it does. It literally just bans 4 symbols every turn from the rest of the clash with him. Now, this sounds like it'd be a really big problem, but the thing is, it really isn't. Sure, those symbols might not be able to show up anymore during that clash, but he has such weak symbols, I don't think I've lost to him once. I don't know if it's just because at that point in the game, you probably have way stronger symbols than you should, or I just got really lucky every time I ran into him. Now, last but certainly not least, we've got Baghead. His ability Trash Shot that I hate adds 4 dud trash bag symbols to your board until the end of the clash, making his ability the worst by far. Every single spin feels that you can't get more than a 3 symbol combo, and these bags not only block those combos, but do nothing. They can't be upgraded, increased in value, or increased in mold. Nothing. And to top it all off, his turns take 3 centuries to finish even on 4x speed. Now, I understand this is a demo, but unless you have a perfectly built deck, this guy will make a joke of you. This guy has the ability to consistently break the hundreds of thousands of score per turn. I couldn't even beat this guy until like my 5th run, and it was only because I'd found the best build in the game with one category. Now let me give a little more context on these categories. Different categories of symbols have different effects, and this is where you can start thinking about your builds. So I made a short list of rules to go by when you're trying to make a build in this game. Rule number 1, play electric. Rule 2, don't use any other category. Rule 3, refer to rule 1. I cannot stress enough how busted electric is compared to everything else. In my dozens of runs, I've never found anything that comes even close to this build. Just the sheer progression of this build is insane, and was the only category that let me beat the last boss. Now, with most clashes, you can get just over your opponent with each round being at least kind of close. But with this build, I blew that trash pile out of the fucking water. Now, when I say I absolutely demolished this dude, that would be underplaying it. I got to scores I didn't even think imaginable, and to tell you I felt vindicated after what I went through against this monster would be an understatement. Here, let me just show you what happened instead of stroking my own ego. Get out of my sight before I you. It's gonna blow! It's gonna blow! Everyone watch out! It's gonna blow! We'll all die. Everyone here died, and me included. Now, with all my hatred out of the way, and after everything is all said and done, I love this game. It scratches that roguelike itch just right. And I don't know if it's because my gambling mindset won or the progression is just too addicting, but as it stands, I want to give this game an 8 out of 10. I only say this because I know it has so much potential, and it has its issues, sure, but for a demo, it has so much room to grow and improve. I think this game is going to be an amazing buy once it's fully released, and I'm definitely going to continue playing it. So if you think I convinced you or you think the gameplay just looks fun, then go check it out for yourself on Steam. Link in the description. And maybe even wishlist it to support the devs. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.